We're here at the New South Wales Track and Field Championships, reporting from the first Friday night. Really just a little teaser tonight, only a couple of hours of competition, but we had more than a few Bankstown athletes going around. Obviously the big day tomorrow and Sunday, but tomorrow's when all the action's going to be happening. It's been billed as the hour of power in the evening. We'll get to that in a minute, but we'll run through the results from tonight first. Lisa Celli kicked things off in the 400 metre hurdles, and it was a sensational sight to see. Lisa obviously spending a long time out with a back injury. She was back tonight in fine form, a personal best in the 400 hurdles, 60.92. A little bit lucky on the first hurdle not to get disqualified. It did seem as if the inside foot was just trailing outside the hurdle a touch, but got away with it, and she advances through to the final on Sunday. Tomorrow I was thinking of, because she also ran the 400 flat, a pretty impressive effort, just an hour after she ran the hurdles tonight. Just snuck into the final. She drew lane 1, so I think the last qualifier, but it looks like on the over her objections, Sam Peck has ordered her not to be running tomorrow. So Lisa will line up for the 400 hurdles final on Sunday, and we'll be hoping for an even better run today and hopefully another personal best. We then moved into the 800s. Sorry, just before I move on from the 400 hurdles, Sina Wildrott also ran for the club. She ran a personal best as well, more than a second, 71.39, her best mark now, and another fantastic young junior coming up for us. Fantastic to see for the club. Move on to the 800s, and Ed Trippis flew the flag for Bankstown. He ran very well, in the 1500. Excellent run from Ed. He's been having a sensational season through the juniors and the Bankstown Invitational. Trent just missed a PB, 2 seconds off in the 1500, but running very well nonetheless. Bit difficult for Trent and Ed running against the big boys. They can just get thrown off a touch in the senior races, and obviously they'll be back in their element when they go to the Australian Juniors in a couple of weeks' time. James Bottrell also ran a PB, another one of our young guns in the 1500 metres, and that was tremendously pleasing to see. The story of the night, though, undoubtedly, once again, World Junior representative Jessica Hull. She ran the 1500 metres. Nothing overly spectacular tonight. Obviously, they went pretty steady, being a heat in the first 1200. Did run home hard, though, the last 300, and she'll be lining up in the final tomorrow. We're expecting pretty good things there. It's the under-23s final. It's Jessica's last year as a junior. Obviously, it'll be run with the Open, so they'll be up on the track with the fast girls, but we're expecting pretty good things out of Jess. I should say, though, this isn't the grand final for Jess. She'll be looking at Australian Juniors in a couple of weeks' time, and this is really to get back-to-back training runs in consecutive days. George Jockett rounded out the night with the 400. I'm sorry, but I don't have a time for that just yet, and we'll get that to you as soon as we get it. But tomorrow is the big day of athletics here at SOPAC. They're billing it as the hour of power. It's the 100 metre preliminaries in the afternoon, and we get into the night, the finals. Our squad will be headlined by Michael Conamani, the recently minted New South Wales Junior Champion, and we'll be hoping for some pretty big things from Michael. He'll be ably supported in the open division by Wesley LeBrew and Michael Dunn, as well as a whole complement of other Bankstown young men. The ladies were to be headed by Victoria Ardita, and unfortunately I've just heard she's been struck down with the flu. We'll hope she gets out here, but quite possibly not. The highlight, of course, tomorrow will, as I just mentioned, be Jessica Hull. She'll go around in the 1500 metre final, and we're hoping for excellent things. We're also going to be into the 800s tomorrow, and it's going to be really exciting to see Taylor John going around on the back of a fantastic New South Wales Juniors. He's having a cracking season, and we're expecting some pretty good things tomorrow. Obviously, once again, the grand final is going to be in a couple of weeks' time at the Australian Juniors, but nonetheless, this is a huge chance for a big hit out, and no doubt he'll be looking for a PB. The hour of power, it'll be the 100 metre finals as the main event of that, but before we get there, we've got the 400 finals. As we said, Lisa Celli had qualified for the flat, but we don't expect to see her in the final. She'll be focusing on the hurdles on Sunday, but nonetheless, get out here and have a look, because it's going to be a cracking night. The 400 final will open it off, and then we get into the 1500 metre finals, both the men's and the women's. That's where Jessica Hull will be running, and it's just going to be a sensational meet. Obviously, the Australian Juniors in Sydney this year, so a lot of the juniors will be building towards that, and obviously the Opens to the Melbourne and Sydney Grand Finals of the Tour and Nationals. Qualification spots on the line for Nationals tomorrow night, so the 1500s should, as always, just be a cracking race. Expecting good conditions. The forecast doesn't look as favourable for Sunday, but tomorrow looks okay. Shouldn't be too much wind later in the day. and that should be exciting to watch. Then of course the blue ribbon event, the 100-metre finals. We're hoping to have a few in there, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, anything can happen in these hundreds. But with any luck, we'll be looking at Wes LeBrew, Michael Dunn, and Michael Conamani, particularly in the under-23s final. And then, of course, probably my favourite event in athletics, the 10,000 metre final. Hamish Wallace will represent the club in that. Geez, it's a long way around, 25 laps on the track. It's not road racing, it's on the track with the big boys. It's going to be a huge test for him, but hopefully he can come through with flying colours. It's going to be a sensational weekend of athletics. We'll preview Sunday tomorrow, but for the moment, let's just focus on a brilliant Saturday coming up. It should be sensational out here at SOPAC. If you can get down here, come and have a look. We can use all the help we can get doing this sort of stuff. It's going to be a great day. Get down here, particularly the hour of power, kicking off from 10 to 6 tomorrow night.